Hi, this is Sharon Acoff-Sledge, and tonight I want to talk about action research and how do we do studies with action research. So first of all, action research is a methodology that emphasizes practical problem solving, and we use it to improve professional practices. So, what is an action research study? It's a research approach that focuses on solving real world problems within specific settings. So, unlike traditional research that seeks to generalize findings across multiple concepts, action research is practitioner driven and it aims to improve um, practice policies in a particular environment. So, within specific settings, I would do an action research study to improve retention for my sixth graders in my middle school classroom. I would use an action research study for that, and I could possibly do it within the school by implementing different things and seeing what works. So when should we use an action research study? We use this when we want to improve our own professional practices. So let's say we do ACAP testing in Alabama, and if we want to improve our student performance on this test, the standardized test, we would do a study to see what types of things would impact their scores, what types of things are impacting their scores positively and negatively. This is something that will require collaboration among stakeholders. That would be the community at large, it would be the parents, the students themselves, other educators within our setting, our school board. All of these are stakeholders in this process. And we use this when traditional research methods may not be applicable, when we need an immediate and a practical solution. One of the things that our school implemented last year, because we had a drop in math scores on ACAP, was to pull the teachers out of the classroom more for professional development and other planning time, but it's becoming something else. So we are giving them feedback on this process and showing how this is maybe not the best practice in this situation. What kind of methodology do you use in action research? Well, you can use both qualitative and quantitative methods when you do action research. So it includes planning, action, observation, and reflection. It's a cycle. And it includes data collection methods include surveys, interviews, observations, and you can also use focus groups. Now, what types of coding do we use in an action research study? I'm still learning about coding, so I hope that this is accurate. So we could use thematic coding, which categorizes data based on recurring themes from observations and interviews. We might say that the students who write in their guided notes or in their workbooks maybe retain the information more. So we would kind of make that a theme, whether we write notes or not. Descriptive coding, that's labeling the data based on the key concepts or topics that's discussed by the participant. So this is participant driven. What kind of responses are you getting? That determines what type of coding that you use. Um, uh, we could use in vivo coding, where we use direct words or phrases from the participants. I just said that, I'm sorry. And we could use process coding. Process coding is where we identify actions and changes over time to track intervention progress. And additionally, we can use quantitative coding when we have surveys or statistical data. What are the advantages of using an action research study? Well, an action research study will directly address practical issues. So it's a valuable approach for educators. And we get practical and immediate impact. So those findings that we get will directly address real world issues and lead to immediate improvements. And it involves practitioners. Practitioner involvement is a thing. So it's conducted by professionals in their own setting, which makes the findings relevant to that professional and other professionals that are in similar occupations. And it encourages collaboration, and it's flexible and adaptable, and it actually empowers the practitioner of this type of research to take ownership of their development. What are the disadvantages of using an action research study? It may lack it may not be easy generalizable due to it being context specific or probably location specific. It requires a lot of time and effort, and the findings it may be influenced by the subjectivity of the practitioner, and it can be challenging to maintain rigorous research standards. What population or situation could be used? Specifically, educators improving classroom instruction. In healthcare, nurses could test patient care improvements, or hospital administrators could use it to assess workflow and the efficiency of their workflow. Businesses could optimize workplace strategies. Community development could use social workers could collaborate with local residents to develop effective community development programs. So those are the types of populations. Different action research studies that I could possibly write. So I could investigate the impact of growth mindset strategies in middle school math. I could evaluate the effectiveness of peer tutoring in improving algebra comprehension, explore how collaborative learning impacts student engagement in geometry, and then I could examine how classroom discourse influences problem-solving skills. And I use the textbook as a reference. This concludes my presentation on action research, and for further studies on that, I would recommend reading the textbook because it does provide a comprehensive exploration of action research. Thank you so much.